Like most people, my life was not perfect. Both my parents and my only sister died of cancer, so I often lived under that shadow. And believe it or not, after one particular doctor exam where I had a bit of a bump or lump in the chest area, I had to go for a mammogram. Imagine me sitting with a waiting room full of ladies. Well, luckily I didn't have anything. But it did not stop me from regular doctor's visits and self-examinations. To me, life is the precious gift my Creator gave me. I have to do my best to live a healthy, long life just to show Him how much I appreciate the gift. So it saddens me when I see the recent suicide deaths of Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade. It hurt me very much how people with everything could kill themselves. And it angered me how people mourn their death as a loss. I'm sorry for sounding cruel, but imagine the example they set. I have not found an article condemning them for their actions. Calling them friends and talking about their glory-filled lives was not constructive. I'm disappointed with the way they chose to exit the world. I'm sorry to say this, but they're not heroes. They're cowards. People have expressed sympathy towards them because they were obvious as victims of mental illness. Of course, if they were not crazy, why would they choose to end a life like that? But it is not only their lives that they took away. Because they lived in the spotlights, Anthony killed a TV host and a celebrity chef, while Kate not only killed a famous fashion designer, she killed a successful woman entrepreneur who launched a business from nothing. She killed a woman who was so brave that she would give up her skyrocketing career at its peak so she can be a full-time mom. She killed a woman who, in her 50s, has the guts to jumpstart a new business. She killed a woman who inspired many of us. I often feel sorry for people with mental illness because it is much, much worse than physical illness. I remember taking my mom to the doctors, and I can see if she got better or worse. I knew she needed my help and appreciated my support. But when your loved ones are mentally sick, they may not be fighting the diseases, but are really fighting themselves. But you don't get a license to kill for being sick, especially when you can afford the best doctors. Do you know how many people can't afford mental health care? Do you know how many can't get proper treatment, even when they get an appointment? There is no excuse not seeking treatment when people around you know you are sick, when you yourself know you have a problem. So you think you can escape your problems by killing yourself? No, you can't. Rita Sappho, Kate's sister, said Kate had bipolar disorder, aggravated by her fame and wealth. And Kate refused to seek treatment because she thought the stigma of mental illness would hurt her brand. Sappho suspected her sister had been contemplating suicide since actor Robin Williams hanged himself in 2014, and media coverage of which she claimed captivated Kate. If there's any truth in Rita's statement, then we may be responsible for her death, because we did not say what we should have said when Robin Williams died. And if Kate killed herself because her fame and fortune made her bipolar worse, what should poor people with bipolar do? Kill someone else? Do you know how many people in America have bipolar? Actually, about 2 to 7% of all Americans. Is that an excuse to kill oneself? No. Give me a break. We all have problems, we all have stress. We just need to deal with it. We need to deal with it like a responsible, mature person. Just because I believe suicide is irresponsible doesn't mean I want to impose my philosophical beliefs on others. I actually do believe people should have the right to choose how to live their lives. And if they have a terminal illness and wish to end it gracefully, then I think we should respect that. But I think it is damn wrong not to seek treatment and exit life in such a cowardly way. Please don't get me wrong. I understand how painful it is to have mental illness. A close friend of mine almost killed herself because of mental illness. She half-heartedly tried suicide. I say so because the scar on her wrist seems too faint if she really wanted to do it. But she was not sick with bipolar. She was only 14 and had to endure daily beatings and scoldings from someone with bipolar. She said she would rather die than live like that. She told me how she regretted since that day she tried to take her life. She said she had no right to do it. It may be impossible for a 14-year-old girl to fight against abusive parents, but killing herself would not solve the problems. The way to solve the problem is for her abuser to get treatment. But unfortunately, most bipolar patients do not feel they are sick. They blame others for their problems and never admit fault. Left untreated, bipolar disorder can cause periods of depression and periods of an abnormally elevated mood. Depending on the severity, the elevated mood is known as mania or hypomania. You can't blame people for refusing to admit they have mental issues, because they can lose their jobs and friends if they are found to be mentally unstable. But a easily treatable bipolar can ruin lives and families if left untreated. Please think hard if you or someone you love has these symptoms. Someone who often seems abnormally energetic, happy, or irritable. These behaviors can lead to poor decisions, like harming others or killing themselves. These symptoms may also cause a loss of sleep. Patients suffering from bipolar often fall into deep depression from minor issues. They may be crying, make a mountain out of a molehill, and have negative outlooks on life. Many have poor eye contact with others. About 30 to 40% of them display self-harming behavior, while over 6% of them commit or attempt suicide. Some become substance abusers, while others let their anxiety disorders go out of control and ruin their relationships, life, and families. Please face the possibility that you may have bipolar if you have any of the symptoms. Half of the bipolar patients have a family member with mental issues. While when one parent has bipolar, 10 to 15% of the children would develop bipolar. When both parents have bipolar, the risk increases to 30 to 40%. However, a person may be at high risk to have mental issues, but the ticking time bomb remains numb. But with stress and life events changing, it can trigger and bring the hidden disease to the surface. Some medications may also trigger bipolar. To sum up, you need to protect yourself. No one can care about you more than you can care about yourself. I believe life is a lesson, and we are all here to learn. If you have a tough lesson, great. You may learn more out of it. You should not give up on the journey if this is your only chance to live this beautiful life. While if life does not end with death, think how your soul may suffer from running away from your post. Please value life as if every day is the last day. Live life to the fullest. This is Ken Peters. Thank you for watching.